What's good, Mike? I'll just settle in. We trying to get everybody time to hop in. You know how it go, but we're gonna get started real soon, though.
Got Menace in here, Jack Boys in here, Outlaws in here.
I know folks been waiting on this one. Like we took our time trying to pick these, but at some point we gotta let everybody know.
Hey man, it is what it is, right?
First and foremost, if you're not nominated, or if you didn't win an award you feel like that you deserve, talk to your owner. I ain't trying to throw nobody under the bus, but talk to your owners.
Send me a DM.
Talk to your owners before you talk to me.
Send me a DM on Stand On It. We can talk there, man.
Because everybody had a chance.
We can talk right there.
Every team had a say. So I want to let it be known now.
It's rigged.
It's always
the league is rigged. The league is rigged, man. I told you, man. I do know the script.
I don't write the script. I just manage it. I just execute it.
As you should.
I'm giving about 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to take up everybody's time tonight, man. Y'all knew what time it was.
Ready to pop this off, man. Ready to pop this off.
Shaw, where you been at? I feel like you've been missing the whole off season, bro. You've been missing from our meetings. You retired on us without writing no letter or nothing?
I'm just taking time to myself, man. Taking time to myself, man. Getting old.
While we here, what's going on with Peck? What's going on with Peck this year, man? See?
I don't know.
See? I don't like that.
I don't know, man.
What's not to know?
I won't talk about Pac until it's time to talk about Pac.
We gonna see, man.
We still good. Had a couple people hit me up on the off season already.
Oh, that's
a few people.
Good. That's good, but we're gonna need a little bit more than just people hitting you up for Pac this year. Pac in the reconstruction year. You know.
We're just one quarterback away. That's all.
Y'all really are one quarterback away. That's facts.
It. You just need the right person to take control of the team. You good.
They out there. All right, fellas. We're 10 minutes in. So out of respect for everybody's time, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. First and foremost, welcome players, owners, and all of our community, or what's here. This is the first ever Instagram live stream award ceremony in partnership with none other than StandOnItRFB. And I felt like, you know, this route was the route that made sense for this year's award recognition. Stand on It being such a huge part of the league, and, you know, if it ain't broke. So I figured this would be a good way to get everybody back in together so we can go ahead and recognize the individuals who made RFB 14 what it was. Technically, everybody who was a part of RFB 14 made it what it was, and especially that being the 10-year milestone of RFB. You know, trust and believe. Just because if you weren't recognized tonight, don't mean you didn't have a significant hand or part in making last year what it was. And it was a great year, a very smooth year. And I think, you know, it was a milestone for it being 10 years, but it was also a milestone in what I feel like we were able to accomplish last year. And then especially how we finished off the year with Premier 14 being our biggest premiere to date. So a lot of fun last year. A lot of athletes came out last year. Probably the most competitive year of Reflex. Is that fair to say, Sean?
Yeah, I would agree. It was real competitive. Some teams more than others, but you know, as a whole, yeah, a lot of the games was unpredictable at a certain part of the season. So yeah.
What's good, Teddy? By the way, I see we got more people joining in. Welcome, y'all boys. But okay, yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what we're going over tonight as part of part one of our season awards ceremony. Because we are going to have a part two exactly 1 week from today. But today's award ceremony includes the following categories: the administrative awards, number one. This is recognizing the individuals behind the league of whom best represent our intended values and leadership, commitment, and support towards the league. Number two is going to be our character awards. And these awards are recognizing the individuals, the RFB athletes specifically, who showed us that their heart is just as big, if not bigger, than their game. Next, we have our novelty awards, because why not? And those are pretty much our fun awards. And then last but not least, we have our best moments, and those are recognizing significant moments through the season. Now this year, as far as the best moments, is only going to include two awards for that, one of them being the best play and the second being the most controversial play. But next year, I do intend to include probably a few more moments, most significantly, funniest moment of the season. I wish I could have done that this year, but we didn't think of that until late, and it's hard to go back in retrospect and try and remember all the funny stuff that happened last year, because a lot of it did happen. So without further ado, we're going to be starting off with the administrative awards, of which we have 4 of them. The first award that we're going to be recognizing tonight is going to be Sponsor of the Year, recognizing the league partner in whom provided the highest level of support towards accomplishing our season goals. We have 1 nominee, who's obviously going to be the winner, and that is, drumroll, Cobb Party Reynolds, which is, for those that don't know, that is a family business owned by none other than my own mother, who they're the ones that basically provide our all the stuff that we rent for some of our special events. For example, the draft, providing us with tables, chairs, table covers, the light up letters, the giant light up letters that we used at the draft, as well as the premiere, the XIV letters that were on field for the premiere. So these are some of the little things we have, you know, that just add to the overall experience for RFB. So we're recognizing them. They were also contributors last year as well. So congratulations to Cobb Party Reynolds. The second award is going to be the Commissioner's Award, and this is an award I began the very first year we started doing awards. This was 2 years ago, and this award recognizes the staff member displaying the best care, commitment, and respect towards the RFB brand and community. This year we have 3 nominees, with the first being Jovi Crooms, who was our primary photographer for the season. That was, Jovi, who's been out there for the past couple of years. She's been amazing on camera. She does, pretty much most of the photography that you guys have seen coming out of RFB for the past 2 or 3 years. And she does do an excellent job every time. So shout out to her. Second, we have Owen Ikoku, which is my little brother, who is on camera, our game film camera operator for the past a lot of years. But even specifically as far as his contribution this year, he's gotten a lot better. And game film camera operation, I always say, is one of those jobs you don't notice when it's done right. You will notice when it's not done well. So he did an incredible job this year, being present, and then taking a lot of the constructive criticism that I tend to give him, and ensuring that he's shooting the games as steadily and as professionally as he possibly can. Number 3, we have Malcolm Johnson, the newest member of our officiating team last year, who quickly rose to become one of the favorites of the officiating crew. Shout out to him, because he was, I believe, out of the entire crew, probably the best liaison between the officiating team and the players. And he had the very difficult job of having to be on the players' sideline and dealing directly with the players, the questions, the complaints, the rah-rah. And I think he did a really good job of, controlling that aspect of the game. He did a good job of being able to communicate and articulate decisions made by the officiating team. And we know it's a hard job dealing with us every Sunday. So shout out to him. The winner for this year, drum roll, going to be Owen Ikoku, aka Lil Bro. And as much as he is little brother, I'm very hard on my little brother. He'll be the first to tell you, because he has one of the most important jobs in RFB. Because you guys know we only have one camera for our game film. You mess that up, you mess up everything. And I don't know, if some people might think it's as easy as just holding the camera and shooting. It's a lot more than that. And you guys notice that whenever we try to put somebody else in, whenever he's not available and we try to put somebody else in, it's quite a job. And I think not only has he done a good job in past years, but this year specifically, he got so much better, to the point where it's very hard to distinguish whenever I'm recording and he's recording. That's how good I believe he's gotten now. So shout out to him. Shout out to Lil Bro. He's a silent assassin. I think everybody knows and recognizes him, but he's not much of a talker. But trust and believe he does care. He does a very good job, and even being there to help out and clean up and do things that are not even a part of his position. So
yeah, I think everybody when I say he does a great job with the film, and just capturing the moments and the angles that we all came to watching this film week in and week out. So it's well deserved for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Next, we have Improved Franchise, MIF. This award is recognizing the owner that displayed the highest level of success in improving their RFB team franchise on a season-to-season basis. And this award is actually nicknamed the Session, named after Lamont Session, as he, for those who were here during that time, the transition of headhunters between Pro 9 and Pro X. Lamont is legend in RFB for how he was able to turn over an RFB team that in 1 year was winless and considered the worst team of the year, the worst team of that year, and turn that team around to become one of the best teams the year prior. And, that team really making a lot of noise and creating a culture at Headhunters that a lot of the players still miss. Even today, a lot of players still talk about that and respect and recognize Lamont for that to this day. So shout out to him. We have 2 nominees for this award. The first one being Menace Mob. Shout out to Mob because when this is, I believe, last year was their 3rd year in RFB, and we know it started a little bit rough over there in terms of administration. A lot of people that were a part of the very first season of Mob could probably attest to that. Some of the struggles they had just in terms of leadership and administration. And I'm sure none of us forget the Glock moment of the Glock gate, Glock gate of RFB. What was that? I think that was season 12. Glock gate in the Discord. If you know, you know. But as far as their turnaround from last year to this year, Menace did an incredible job, and they've not only just turned around the culture and stepped up on a leadership level, but they have created one of the best team cultures in today's RFB. And a lot of people, if you've been paying attention, even in the off season, they've been continuing and really building that up. So Menace has really become quite the brand as far as RFB franchises go. So shout out to them. Shout out to Mike Smith and Yalen, Jalen Albright, twin. Go ahead, Sean.
As an organization, they took a lot of steps forward in progression of what they wanted to do and what they wanted to accomplish. I would say that I respect Mike, I respect Ye, I respect everybody over there. They did their thing, especially this year. And not to say they haven't done anything in the past years, but this year they made sure they went and got the pieces that they needed, and made noise that the way they wanted to. And like you said, they continue the progress over the off season, trying to build that chemistry, just so when the season come back, they have it. So continue to work, man. Good job, man. It sucks y'all lost the pack though. Good job.
Gotta help you. So
I had to throw that in there.
Our second nominee is,
especially because they just declined my invite to join, so I'm talking about shit.
Our second nominee is none other than Dynasty. So we have Menace as the most improved franchise of the Villains division, and we have Dynasty as the most improved of the Heroes division, but only one will be getting the award tonight as the overall most improved. But shout out to Dynasty. This is Dynasty's 2nd year in RFB. T. Will being the sole owner of Dynasty, but of course having Trevor as another administrative leader over there. So shout out to Dynasty, putting the work in towards improving the Dynasty brand this year. They did very well in terms of recruiting better talent to the team. And I believe Dynasty really became just a stronger overall brand as far as RFB. Now, we know T. Will's position in the league. T. Will being one of the infamous characters of RFB, of the RFB starting cast. I feel like, but regardless of how you feel, or maybe how you feel he ranks your teams in his power rankings, we can't deny he's doing this thing as far as with Dynasty, and just continuing to manage and grow that team. So we expect bigger and better things for Dynasty this year if they continue to go on the path that they're going on. They did have a competitively a rougher start to last year, but they finished quite strong. I'm sure they would have, they're not satisfied with their playoff performance, but as far as, for the team, I think they're in a really good position going into next year in terms of being able to recruit talent and continuing to build in the direction that they're heading towards. So
Yeah, Dynasty did a great job with recruitment for sure. They brought in a lot of talent that the league hasn't seen yet. They did their thing, made it to the playoffs. It was a nice little turnaround for them too as well. So always respect T. Will. He always has something under his sleeve. Always going to try to make it happen regardless. So
the winner of the most improved franchise of season 14 is, drumroll, Mob Menace. Congratulations, Menace. Well deserved. Keep up the good work. We got Mike in here, right?
yeah, I tried to join. I tried to add them up. They declined. They respectfully.
It's all good. Moving forward, or moving on, we have the most esteemed award of this category, the most anticipated award of this category, being Owner of the Year, the OOTY, recognizing the ownership group that displayed the highest level of commitment towards their franchise brand, players, and fan base, and set the bar as far as franchise leadership for this year. We have 3 nominees this year, with the first being D'Lo Smith and Trip Thompson for Grinders, who were also the winners of the award last year. We have, well, real quick, just in terms of Grinders, a lot of you guys already know what time it is with them. They really set the standard as far as franchise building and franchise management. I believe last year, they're extremely committed towards doing whatever it takes to build the best team and culture that they can. And I have that position as the commissioner to see a lot of the things that the players don't see, a lot of the time and effort and energy put towards the teams that the players don't get to see. And I can tell you, D'Lo and Trip, are as about as standard as it's going to get. They set the standard and they continue to push that standard. Shout outs to them. They're on time with any type of fees or in terms of getting their players to register on time, in terms of being in the meetings, being present in every single RFB meeting, and even when not able to be present, it's the little things like communicating, hey, we won't be able to be there, or we're going to have this other person there. And if you're an owner, if you're in any type of management position at RFB, you know how much those things matter, and how much those things make the difference. And then, of course, one of the big aspects that determines the nominees and the winner for this is what the players actually have to say about their owner. The player and owner relationship, or just how the level of respect and recognition that the players who are directly impacted by that leadership, what they're able to say about their leadership. So shout out to Grinders. Next, we have Brennan Lando and Justin Sizemore representing Jack Boys. Jack Boys had a fantastic history-setting year last year. And, of course, for any team to achieve, that level of success in RFB, it would have to start from the top down, right? So big credit to Orlando, and Sizemore. Orlando specifically, from the very jump of him telling me he wanted to be an owner in RFB, and really me being skeptical initially. Not that I didn't think, that Orlando didn't know the game or he didn't have the players, but it was just like I've only seen Lando as a player prior to that. And I figured that there might be issues in terms of whether if it's him being able to keep his cool and certain, because when you become an owner, it's a different standard, it's a different expectation of you as a member representing RFB and being a leader in RFB. Lando was phenomenal this year. And of course, shout out to Sizemore as well, them being the ownership group officially for Jack Boys, but they did a phenomenal job. I mean, everything from being present for the meetings, getting players to register. I know, there was a lot of talk saying that Jack Boys wasn't going to be able to get their people registered, and they handled all of that. They pretty much shut up every doubter and hater, did what they had to do, and came out and kicked butt the whole season. So shout out to Jack Boys. Shout out to that leadership group. Shout out to a record-breaking year for them, a history-setting year. And also being a big contributor towards the premiere being as big of an event that it was. Another thing for Jack Boys is, even their sidelines, some of the support of their community. When they bring out people to support their games, they have everything from people giving massages on the sideline to bringing out extra media crews. It's really, it's a whole new standard for them. So shout out to them. And number 3, we got, yes, yay, it is live video if you needed proof. But number 3, we have Mike Smith and Jalen Albright, aka Ye, with Menace. And again, just same thing I said when nominating them for the most improved franchise. But they did an incredible job of managing their team this year. The mob was a whole movement. And again, when you look at how the players, how passionate the players are about the brand, that's Menace is one of the teams that really does a good job of, creating a culture that players enjoy and want to keep coming back to. So player retention is another thing that we look at to judge these awards. Is do those players want to come back to that team? How loyal did the players become towards that team after playing with them? Mob also did some cool and interesting things in their own right this year. The Mob chain being one of the big ones. Mob also probably has one of the most impressive player tents in RFB. Very customized, very homely, very, very different. So shout out to the Mob once again. Sean, what you got to say about all that?
I respect all the owners in general, just because of the fact that a lot of people don't really understand what the owners got to put up with on a day in and day out, weekly basis. You got to deal with so many different personalities, some people being professional, some people being less professional. So I give respect when it's due, and I respect each and every one of the owners and their teams. And how they control it and how they run it. So I think you hit it right on the hat to the point where there's nothing more to be said. Each one of them deserves to win. So I don't have no likes and dislikes in this group. Y'all all earned y'all respect from me. So
you're absolutely right, Dre. It is not easy to be an owner. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. It is not easy. I tell owners this all the time. Owners are basically mini versions of myself in the league, because a lot of the responsibilities I have, they share. It's just that their focus is specifically for the team, whereas mine is for the league overall. So they share a lot of the pain when it comes to leadership and administration. And just dealing with players, dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. A player tell you they're going to play with your team, and then they don't register on time, and they put you in a whole situation. There's a lot to it. So shout out to all of our owners. One thing I can say is we have a fantastic ownership group league wide in terms of especially relative to prior seasons. This I believe was our best ownership class whatsoever as far as any season. And of course, there's still improvements to be made. And we care about each and every single team. We really want all of our teams to have something to offer as far as a culture and making sure that the players actually enjoy playing on those teams. And it's a season-to-season process to try and improve that. With that being said, before I announce this, I want y'all to, in the chat, who y'all think is going to win this award, or who do you guys think deserves this award the most? Yeah,
you had
we got Grinders, Jack Boys, and Menace.
Grinders, Jack Boys, and Menace. That's a tough one. Owners of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We got Lando and Sizemore. Got Grinders.
What's up, Drew? What's up, Miko? Okay. Well, without further ado, drum roll. This was a tough one. I ain't gonna lie. This is a tough one. Our owners stepped it up this year. It was a tough one. Best year for owners so far, for sure. We got Menace. Who's that? DJ Moore. What's up, DJ? DJ, shouting out to the Menace. The winner of this year's award for Owner of the Year, Season 14, goes to none other than Brennan Lando and Justin Sizemore. Shout out to the Jack Boys. Tough award, y'all. Tough award. I'm not going to lie. Tough award. Tough award. But well-deserved nonetheless. Like I said, you know, all these nominees, especially these three, they brought their A game this year, all in their own right. But when it came to the overall, you know, and then especially considering just what Jack Boys was able to accomplish this year, it's really, you know, this is like a once in a generation moment for RFB to have a team pretty much come in from, you know, from the jump as a, you know, even regardless of them being experienced ballers. It's not the first time we've had experienced ballers come in as a new team, but this is the first time that they've ever been able to accomplish something like what, you know, a level of dominance the way the Jack Boys did last year. And then, you know, it's one thing to speak competitively. It's another thing entirely when we speak on a management level, you know. So they did it on all ends. Great competitive team, the most competitive team we've ever seen in RFB, and a fantastic showcasing of management when it came to fan base, you know, marketing, everything. Fan base marketing, you know, everything. Sponsors, everything. So shout out Lando, shout out Sizemore. Keep up the good work. Expecting more great things out of y'all. Continue to set and push the bar. And as far as all our other teams, y'all continue the great work that y'all doing. The league appreciates all owners because, again, we know it's not easy. Shout out to y'all. Another thing about owner of the year is a lot of times I like to consider our prior years in consideration, but you know, it's really, when laying everything out on paper, it's really hard to discount what the Jack Boys accomplished this year. So good stuff. Going into our next category, actually, before we do that, Lando might be playing a game, but I was going to say if we could try to add him in. He's got a, you know, short speech or anything he wants to say, him or Sizemore.
I don't think Lando's in here still.
Oh, good. Maybe he'll join before we finish and he could say something. But moving on, we're moving on to the next category. Okay, appreciate the update, Nate. Lando is playing flag right now. Do let him know on our behalf. Congratulations. Our next category is the Pro Character Awards. And this is, again, recognizing RFB athletes who showed us that their heart is just as big, if not bigger, than their game. Okay. Character is a big aspect of our values. We know, in creating and utilizing this term of pro in RFB, it's not just to recognize a player, but it's to recognize the standard that players have in RFB, the standard that we expect for players in RFB. So these awards were created to recognize our pros who have outstanding character based on the values that matter to RFB. We have three awards under this category. And the first award is Definition of a Pro Award, nicknamed the Pierre, named after and dedicated to Mark, aka Mills Pierre, who was one of our players in Durham Pro 9 of RFB a few years back. I believe that was 2017. Mark was a tight end / blocker for Team Reapers, who during that year we were having a lot of struggles with officiating. That was actually a big year for RFB in terms of transitioning away from players being our primary officials to actually finding people that were not currently active players to officiate the games. And we had a lot of issues because we could not get players. It was hard finding a team that could come out there and officiate for us. And Mark was one of the people that volunteered every single week in order to be an official when he wasn't playing, and literally just did everything that he possibly could to try and help out the league and asked for nothing in return. Solely for the sake that he loved the league and he just wanted to help and support it. Tragically, Mark passed away after that season. He had a heart complication while he was playing a pickup basketball game, and he did pass away tragically. So we decided to name this award, this very special award, in honor of his memory. So the definition of a pro award best represents or is dedicated or awarded to the player that best represents the values of what it means to be a pro in RFB, something we talk about all the time. And this means that they handle their business on and off the field and provide exceptional support towards the league and its objectives. We have 5 nominees this year, okay? And that doesn't surprise me because, I say this all the time. RFB, in my very biased opinion, is the best flag football league out there. But it wouldn't be so if we did not have the best community of players that directly, lead to that, contribute towards that. We have an incredible community of which our league experience on a yearly basis would not be possible without, all you guys literally just holding it down for the league. Our 5 nominees for this year are, number 1, the guy himself, right there, or right there, depending on how it's showing up on your live stream. For me, it's right here. Mr. Shaw Irwin, who was a standout player for his team this year, as well as making a huge contribution to the league by being the man behind the Stand On It RFB podcast, the #1 podcast in all of RFB, the #1 and only podcast in all of RFB. But nonetheless, something that Shaw started, was it 2 years ago? How many years we've been doing this? 2 or 3?
This will going in. We've been doing it for 2 years.
Okay.
Going into 3 years.
Yeah, and Stand On It, absolutely brought something very new and refreshing to the league. And, you know, that wouldn't be possible without the contributions and efforts and the time sacrifice of our guy right here, Mr. Shaw Irwin, keeping the league interesting week to week, being the official shade room of RFB with all his instigation, professional instigator, professional drama coordinator, um, and a big contributor to what makes RFB so fun, especially in recent years. So shout out to Shaw and shout out to Stand On It, the Stand On It platform of which we are on right now. Number 2, we got T. Will, who is an owner, a player, and the writer of the power rankings for RFB, as well as considered to be one of the villains of RFB, even though he's on the Heroes division. T. Will has been writing the power rankings for the past couple of years, and he does a fairly consistent job unless his team loses. And but shout out to T. Will regardless, because he's the only one that actually does a power ranking where he gives an in-depth or tries to give an in-depth analysis of each team every week. And as much as we complain and don't agree with it, ain't nobody else doing it. You know what I mean? So shout out to T. Will. Regardless of if whoever don't like it, you're still gonna read his power rankings and you're still gonna react to it. You know what I mean? And it does absolutely add to the league and make it more fun and interesting for everybody. Number 3, we got Joshua, aka Ziggy, aka the Ziggler, aka LaZiggy Jackson, aka Zig We Trust Redmond, who is one of the, for whatever reason, I really don't know why, but he's one of the favorite players of RFB. Everybody roots for Ziggy. Everybody got Ziggy back. Like, if somebody ever tries Ziggy the wrong way, I feel like the whole league would step up. It's just something about Ziggy, man. But Ziggy's a great player, and somebody who's very just very invested in the league. I don't know how. He's not an owner. Somehow he's in all our owners' meetings. He just has a pass to do whatever he wants in the league, and I'm still trying to figure out how he managed to accomplish that. But one of the great things that Ziggy does that the league appreciates is he comes out to the games and live streams the biggest or most anticipated matchups that we have throughout the season. And given that the league doesn't have an official live streaming platform, we very much appreciate Ziggy for coming out and being out there during those moments and providing that to the league. So shout out to Ziggy and Zig We Trust. That my QB. You know what I mean? So appreciate you, Zig. Number 4, we got Miles Lewis from Bruins. Miles Lewis had a very interesting year this year. Again, a great player in the league, somebody who's earned a lot of respect as of recent. One of the new players in RFB that has earned a lot of respect and has a lot of respect, even just specifically as a player league-wide. But most notably this year, he was the only one to do a vlog, a consistent vlog as a player from the player's perspective, showing what it looks like and what it feels like to be a player who is going through the full experience of being a part of RFB. Everything from his training preseason to going through the combine to going through the draft to actually playing in the season. A lot of us were very entertained. Just being able to follow along with his story, something that was very refreshing to see in RFB, and again, just provided a different perspective of RFB that I feel like was sorely needed and very much appreciated. So shout out to Miles, and we hope to see more. We hope to see, I know he's been having a lot of upgrades on his equipment this off season. We've been talking, and he's excited to see what he's excited to get back to it this year. So can't wait to see what he's got cooking up. Last but not least, we have none other than Mr. I Do This, Nick Do, who has been for the previous years a very respected, competent player in RFB, one of the best linebackers in the league. A loud personality. If you play RFB, if you're a part of RFB, you know who Do is. One of the most popular players in RFB, if I must say. But also, most notably and most relevantly, what's relevant about him being nominated is the fact that he has been the primary coach of our pro development, specifically talking about the combine, the camp, being that voice for RFB during the tryouts for RFB. So he's really cemented that role for himself as a member of the league for the past few years, and he does an outstanding job, even training players in the off season. So shout out to Nick Do and all he does as far as supporting the league, promoting the league. He posts the league a lot. Is a great member of RFB. So shout out to Nick. Our winner for definition of a pro, aka the Pierre, goes to none other than Sha Irwin for Stand On It RFB. Congratulations, Sha. Well deserved. The league will not be the same. Too much fun on here.
I appreciate the award. I really don't do nothing on Stand On It. I just repost all the bullshit that I send it to me. So, I mean, this award that y'all send me DMs. I'm gonna just repost it. I don't put nobody's name in it. Nothing. I just say the most outrageous stuff, and I just sometimes I get in trouble for it because it's not supposed to be posted.
He did get in a lot of trouble this year. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And the worst thing, he bucking too. He be bucking.
It's some people in here that was saying some crazy stuff. I was posting it. I was getting in trouble for it. But I was just posting it anyway.
He posting stuff knowing he finna get in trouble. And he posted it anyway. He really thinks RFB.
Honestly, it's just one of those that I want y'all to show y'all personality any way y'all want to. You know what I mean? It's just another way of just having fun. Y'all gonna talk shit. It's just funny to me, honestly, at the end of the day. I don't want to promote fighting or anything crazy like that, so I understand where the rules come in, and you got to have, some type of checks and balances. But yeah, to me, it's all jokes. And I always tell people in the chat and whatever, like, it's all jokes. Don't take nothing serious, because you take one of us serious, that's where they're going to get you. So
yeah,
don't take nothing serious on anything, not even the chat, not Stand On It, nothing. I got quarterbacks. I got people using different color hands to, just to put something in the comments, and just so they don't know who it is. It's crazy. It's crazy. People trying to say they other people. It's all fun and games. So
I think I speak for the league when I say no other platform, no other person in the league contributed to the amount of laughter experienced this year than you would Stand On It, bro. It's too funny on that page. Too funny. You might have to do like a best moments so that just go through your archive, your story archive.
I was thinking about doing that. It's so many messages. it's really a lot of messages that like y'all send me. Cause you got to think, like, for every situation, we post about a good 10 to 20 posts from people just commenting, laughing, and doing stuff. So, you know what I mean? If anything, if y'all see something, if y'all remember something, y'all could just resend it to me or whatever. I'll repost it. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I show love regardless. So.
Fair enough. There's so much that happened on Stand On It, man. I'm sorry. I'm thinking like dating back to like even prior to the season. I remember when everybody was talking trash about P before he came into the league. I remember how everybody was why the league is just unprovoked bullying, trying to bully Jalen for no reason. I ain't gonna lie, that joint be having me laughing. Ain't gonna lie. Oh man, there's so much, man. There's so much. Definitely the messiest part of RFB, but yeah, what it is. Next award, we got the Comeback Pro Award. So this award, it's not how you start, but how you overcome, grow, and ultimately finish. This award is presented to the pro/owner, it could be an owner too, that displays the greatest season-to-season growth and performance and overall excellence. We have 5 nominees for this one as well, with the first being Miles Lewis, who went from being an undrafted player the year prior to being a first-round pick this year. Shout out to Miles. It's a great underdog story. Number 2, we got Des Burnett, who went from being a winless Shinobi outcast to being a premier champion. Shout out to Des Burnett. What a turnaround of an experience, of an RFB experience. Number 3, Daniel Wandu, myself. I'm not exactly sure what I did, but apparently I was trash, and apparently this guy I wasn't, so because everybody just thought I was trash.
You bowled out this shit, man. You did a couple of things this year, man.
Number 4, we got Javon Reed, who talked this talk, said he was the most locked down corner in RFB this year, which I feel like nobody was really peeping game until he said that. And sometimes, like I say, you gotta talk your talk. Sometimes that quiet stuff is cool and all, but you get left out. He talked this talk, and he continued to stand on business. Javon went from having a roughly quiet year last year. Maybe he was doing his thing. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. Maybe, folks just wasn't paying attention. But I'll tell you what, everybody knows Javon now. And I could feel that gain of respect for him league-wide. So shout out to Javon, holding it down over at True Kings. And then number 5, we got Greg Zellner. John, a.k.a. Greg Zellner, who was injured last year, suffered a very tragic, pretty much season-ending injury last year with his hand, and made the comeback to be a standout quarterback this year, one of the best in the Heroes division, and one of the best league-wide. Led his team to some very clutch wins on the second half of the season to get them in the playoffs. So shout out to Greg on the comeback, the injury recovery. You got anything to say about these, Sha?
No, not at all. They
Who y'all think deserves?
They in the uproar when you.
With who?
They was in the uproar when you said your name.
I ain't even nominate me. That's the funny part. If you been check, I think it was something I tried to nominate myself for, but nobody was buying it. But they nominated me for this. So I really just took it as they just thought I was trash last year. It's all good. But who y'all think should win this? Let me know in the chat. Who y'all think deserve this?
And this is comeback player, comeback pro.
This is comeback pro. I'm definitely the Fez, bro. I'm airing everything out. I run a transparent league. Gonna let everybody know everything that's going on. I got one vote for Reed from Trip himself. That's
I ain't gonna lie. To me, man, Greg was balling, man.
Greg, interesting. That's
Greg was balling.
big respect to Greg. I see a Greg. I see a Devontae.
Greg was balling, man.
I don't know what they're talking about,
Dez.
but I see more Reed. I see Dez. I see a who's Dez.
He said a champion. Yo, man, y'all hilarious.
I see
Reed,
and
Greg.
Greg. So it's looking like it's between Reed and Greg, man. Reed and Greg getting the respect. But shout out to these guys. Doing good.
He was doing all right, man.
Sorry for the interruption, y'all. Y'all know how the IG live be.
Bro, so it was me. I was not me, bro. I'm just, hey. Oh, man. They're going to troll me for no reason.
Okay, so where I left off was the comeback award. Again, the nominees being Miles Lewis, Des Barnett, myself, Javon Reed, and Greg. And the winner is, drum roll, Javon Reed. Lockdown. Reed. Congratulations, Reed. Once again, did his thing, man. You know, again, said what he had to say in the Discord because he felt like folks wasn't paying attention for real. He, you know, he counted on himself. He let folks know, and trust and believe, when he did that, folks started trying him. Folks got real curious, started throwing over there, trying to figure out what was going on, and he stood on business, as he should. So shout out to Reed. Well deserved. The final award in this category is the Unstoppable Pro Award. Hard work is a necessary trait to be a successful pro in RFB. With this award, RFB will recognize the pro who displays the highest level of commitment towards their training and development as a player. This pro takes any and every opportunity to become a better athlete and player, and the work led to a noticeable improvement in their gameplay for the season. We have 4 nominees. Number 1 being Nigel Jones of PEC. Everybody know Nigel, man. Everybody know Nigel. Nigel done made his name for himself in recent years, not just in RFB, but in the Flag World League, sport-wide. And we know he puts in that work. We've seen it. Can't make those type of plays unless you're putting in that type of work. So shout out to Nigel. Number 2, we got Willie Dorson, who has remained probably one of the most consistent people that I've ever met in my entire life as it pertains to training and personal development as an athlete and as a player. He is a trainer, and he has contributed to the improvement of quite a few pros, myself included. So big respect to Willie. He lives in the gym. And he's a craftsman at what he does. So shout out to him. Number 3, we got Miles Lewis from Bruins. Again, we seen just the level of work and commitment that he showed towards getting better this year, towards being the best player that he could possibly be. And the results spoke for themselves once he got that opportunity with the Bruins. Very, very good production on that team. Put us on some crazy numbers on a few weeks that he was playing ball over there. Again, we got to see that Everything from him training with Nick Dew to, training on his own to being at every RFB trial event, the whole nine. So shout out to Miles. And then we got finally Paris Williams from Menace, who is a rookie, but nonetheless, we see some of the work that he puts in towards developing himself as an athlete. I believe he's a trainer as well for track, or a coach. And yeah, I mean, that guy, he puts in work. If you know him, he puts in work, and we see it. We don't even got to see the work to know, because we see it when he's out there on the field. The results speak for themselves. But with this award specifically, it's who do we see? Not only did we see the work, but we saw a significant level of improvement. The winner for this award this year is going to none other. What was that? None other than, drum roll, Miles Lewis from the Bruins. Shout out to Miles. Well deserved. We've seen the work, and we saw the results. So shout out to y'all, putting in that time, being on y'all grind. I know it's probably a lot more players out there that train and put in the work. So don't feel slighted if you're not recognized. Sometimes it's also just, picking who we actually see doing it. Moving on. The Novelty Awards, the Pro Novelty Awards, because why not? With the first award being the Drippiest Pro Award. Drip. Awarded to the sauciest player on the field when it comes to styling and accessorizing their game day attire.
I just want to say for this one in particular, I just remember we was in a group chat arguing about this.
And the owners,
because in the owners chat, because I feel like everybody has a different view of what drip is. So I think we should have got it right after all the back and forth, but this was one of those conversations amongst the owners. So hopefully you got it right, huh?
every flag football player and every RFB player especially knows that drip is an art. And every player is an artist in their own right, themselves being the canvas. We have quite the drippy league, but only one winner will be recognized tonight. We have 5 nominees. Number 1, Willie Dorson, Dynasty. I believe Willie's probably been at least a nominee. I think he was a winner for one of these, but he's been a nominee every year we've done the awards. Granted, this is only the 3rd year of it, but he's a drippy guy, man. I don't think anybody can take that away from him. He's got his own, his own swag to it. Notably, having the little hat turban thing with the little things on it. Everybody remember that from this year. He was very heavy on that this year. Cleat game always stepping. Number 2, none other than Nate. Jack Boy Nate Craner. Jack Boys, you gotta speak on Nate whenever we're talking about drip, because Nate probably got the deepest cleat collection in all of flag football.
Boy, Nate got about 20 pairs of cleats, ain't it?
You know what I mean? So, he's an interesting guy. He's the only person that could pull off, if I'm not mistaken, did Nate wear a cowboy hat one time? That might have been last year. I feel like he pulled something off. The drippy guy, though. Number 3, we got Trey Lewis. Trey Lewis, man, you know, Trey, just a natural star. You know, he one of them guys like you gonna see him, and he gonna make sure you see him one way or the other. I think most notably this year was his lime green accessories, his lime green shiesty, lime green cleats. The boys, you know, he out there to put on a show, not even in just how he played, but how he gears up on game day. So shout out to Trey Lewis. Number 4, we got Rico. We got rookie Rico from Dynasty. And, you know, Rico, a different guy again. You know, when we talk about drip, we know it's an art. And Rico is most certainly an artist. If you pay attention, you know. And nobody do it the way Rico does. You know, it's a very unique type of drip too. So shout out to Rico. I think one of the things I stole, I didn't steal it from him because it don't really work for me the same. But one day I was looking, I was like, bro, you got an arm sleeve on your leg? And he was like, yeah. I was like, respect. I never thought about that, but it worked. He pulled it off. I know he remembered that moment too. And then finally, another player that I feel like he gets put on here every year, even though I was probably his biggest hater in the owners chat when we're talking about this, and this is Nigel Jones from the Pack. And
I do hate the Pack aside.
I was definitely his biggest hater because I feel like Nigel get on this list every year, and all he do is wear that white leg sleeve, that white single leg sleeve, and everybody be like, "Oh, Nigel got drip." So I was just like, "All right, man, y'all say so." Like if Nigel get in, I get in. Shoot, I'll be sleeping on what? But like I said, man, one thing about it, everybody got their own look, man. You know, whether if it's Sean the Durags, you know what I mean? Whether if it's you know, it's all kinds of drip, man. Every single player got their own little get up, man. It's an interesting thing to see, and I think one of the things that makes it all the more special in RFBs because as a league, we already put so much effort towards our presentation as a league. So I feel like when players are playing in RFB, they feel that sort of push to really bring out their all as far as gear. You know, I know quite a few players that literally buy gear for RFB, specifically for RFB each year. You know, I think it's just a testament again to just how passionate players are about the league. You know, y'all know the effort the league puts towards the uniforms, and the uniforms I feel like sets the tone, and nobody wants to have those uniforms, you know, having you know, these uniforms that we put so much time and effort towards, and the rest of your get up is not, you know, coming with it. So I feel like everybody puts, you know, it's a different mindset when we're coming out to play RFB and figuring out our drip, you know, and trying to just look good so we can play good. So it's fun. It's fun seeing it. I've also seen how players have taken it more seriously year to year as the league has gotten better and more serious, and our uniforms have gotten better, and our film has gotten better. So I think that all contributes to it. So like I said, it is very interesting coming out there and seeing just the level of effort and thought that players put towards their appearance each and every Sunday. So yeah, one thing I will say though is one of our weeks, the theme was drip week, and I feel like it wasn't that much different than all the other weeks. I wasn't happy about that. So I feel like, you know, next year we gotta do some more. Miko said he got snubbed because he definitely had the pajamas out there. I ain't gonna lie, Miko definitely inspired me to wear pajamas in mini season.
Pajamas crazy.
When it got chilly out there.
This is why we had the argument in the chat, because everybody kept saying certain things, and we like, man, that's not drip. I mean, that's your personal. You know what I mean? That's your personal style, but it might not be drip to everybody else. But just like Nigel, you know what I'm saying? That's not drip to a bunch of people, but some people they get by. Whatever it is, what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Nigel got a white leg sleeve and a white headband, and everybody says it's drip.
Yeah, we've been hating on Nigel for 3 years, man. Hey, who win though? Who won? Look.
The winner is, drumroll, Rico.
Oh,
Gross. From Dynasty.
Hey, Reek.
Rookie Reek. Congrats, Rico. You were voted by the owners as the unanimous winner of the Drip Award. I think everybody just appreciated how unique your drip was. So keep it up. The Most Funny Pro Award is next, awarded to the most hilarious player on the field and in the Discord. The nominees this year, we got 4 of them, with the first being Joshua, a.k.a. Ziggy, a.k.a. The Ziggler, a.k.a. Ziggy Jackson and Ziggy Truz Redman from Phantom. Yeah, you know, ain't even nothing I got to say about Zig. Zig got a different type of humor. He says things that only Ziggy would say. And definitely one of the favorites in the Discord with his, Ziggy humor. Number 2, we got Keyshawn Keith, a.k.a. Key from Jack Boys. Key's a character in himself, funny guy, especially on the field and especially when he gets to cooking folks. He's a funny guy, man. And, definitely say again.
I said, y'all some trolls, man.
Definitely somebody we had to recognize because I know we all probably have at least 1 or 2 good laughable moments we can mention from Key. Especially on those sidelines, especially when Jack Boy's playing. Number 3, rookie Andre Felder Jr., a.k.a. Dre from Menace. I don't even know why Dre funny, but he funny. I don't know why, though.
He a storyteller, man. He a good storyteller, man.
Just a funny guy.
He's funny as hell.
Yeah, I don't even know why.
He said Dre ain't funny.
And number 4, Miko Washington from Jack Boys.
Gotta have Miko, man.
Miko again, a funny guy. I don't got nothing else to say about y'all. Y'all some funny folks. I know Miko's moments were primarily on field. He's got a few Discord moments as well, but definitely primarily on field. Jack Boy's got quite a few funny guys. I ain't gonna lie. But the whole league is funny, man. It's kind of a hard whole word. Everybody funny. It's kind of like the drip. Everybody got their own type of humor. The winner of this award goes to none other, chosen by the owners after vigorous discourse. Keyshawn Keith from Jack Boys, a.k.a. Key. Congratulations.
Congratulations, G.
He's a funny guy.
All right, man. I agree with that. Miko and Key, they could have split that for real. Damn. Crying all season.
They are funnier together. The next award is Villain of the Year. The VOY award to the most dastardly player in all of RFB for the year. Every good story needs a villain, needs a good villain. And RFB definitely has some good villains every year. We have 3 nominees for this year. Dastardly guys. I mean, utterly despicable. terrible. The first being Terrence, aka T. Will, aka the Winged Serpent Williams. The Winged Serpent was notorious this year for Voidgate with PJ Stone when he drafted one of the key players from the Grinders roster, from the Grinders family, from the Grinders gang or organization, and then proceeded to hold him hostage with very unrealistic trade demands in order to let him go, and was not willing to let him go unless his demands were met. Thus, we dubbed T. Will the Winged Serpent. And, shortly enough, when Void Day came, PJ was thrown into the abyss, never to be seen in RFB again.
Straight into the void. And straight into the void, man.
Very dastardly, to Will. It takes a true, heartless being, soulless existence of a person to throw away one of RFB's best players. But somebody had to do it, and that's how he felt. Next, we got Andrew Hayward, a.k.a. Drew, the drafty scumbag. Why? Because he was drafted onto True Kings this year and proceeded to become an utter menace towards his team, as he had a strong preference for not playing with True Kings and wanted to play on the team he wanted to play on, aka Grinders. Why is Grinders and all these has something to do with all these villains? Interesting. So he decided to become a severe headache towards his team, and his team eventually conceding and deciding to trade him. Keeping in mind that Drew was selected in the first round. I believe he was the first or second overall pick, and he was then traded to Grinders on a 1-for-1 trade for a final round pick in none other than Joe Shiesty, of which sent the league into flames, uproar league-wide, with some labeling it as the worst trade in all of RFB history, and uproar that was so intense that it even caused Joe Shiesty to have to come on the Discord and talk his talk, of which he did have an incredible moment later in that year, showing that he was, of value as a player in RFB. But yes, Andrew Hayward, one of the nominees. And number 3, none other than Rodney Morris. We know Rodney, man. And, I feel like Rodney's probably going to be on this list every single year that he's a part of RFB, because for whatever reason, folks be getting into it with Rodney, man. He's probably considered one of the top trolls in the league. This is Villain of the Year, Miko. Villain of the Year. And Rodney will find a way in every situation to make himself a villain of some sorts. Almost like he cannot help it. But it does make the league interesting. The winner of this award, who do y'all think is the winner? Am I missing any nominees? Are there any other villains that y'all feel like were not recognized as a nominee? Villain of the Year. Who y'all think win this? Who y'all think deserves this? Ooh.
Did you put that Rodney made his own ranking system?
Did make his own power rankings. Sure did.
Oh man, he's a clown, man.
I got one T Will. I got one Rodney.
Drew was trolling all season, man. Rodney, they always trolling all season. I mean,
The winner for this is none other than drum roll, Andrew Hayward, aka the scumbag draftee. Utterly dastardly. A terrible, terrible example for pros to come.
oh man,
Congratulations.
the holdout gonna be crazy after the draft, man.
And I have word from unconfirmed sources that Drew is just beginning his career. So take that as you will. The next category is Troll of the Year, the TOY. Distinguished from the Villain of the Year, okay, as Troll of the Year is awarded to specifically the most annoying player throughout the season. Okay. But you know, annoying is one way to put it. It's not necessarily annoying. It could also be just somebody who jokes a lot and kind of knows how to get under people's skin. You know, with witty humor. The nominees for Troll of the Year include number one, Shaw Irwin. This guy right here, Mr. Stand On It himself.
Man, I ain't no troll.
Big troll, big troll. Big troll. He trying to act like, oh, I'm just running the page. I'm just posting what the people send. Big troll. If you know, you know. Number two, my guy Nick Rowe. Nick Rowe, one of RFB's legendary.
Hey, how many times you kicked him out the chat this year, man?
I don't even know. I don't know if I kicked him off this year, man. I don't lost count with Nick. Nick probably ain't even do nothing this year, but he did so much in his previous years. I'm gonna just put him every year. He could say nothing the whole year. I'll probably put him on there. Number three, we got Miko Washington. Miko, how you saying find yourself on this list? Apparently, Miko had a lot of on-field antics and was recognized by the owners as one of the significant trolls in the league. Number four, we got Joshua Ziggy Jackson, and Zig We Trust, Redmond, most notably for his identity fraud. If you know, you know.
Oh, man.
Very dastardly. That might have been a villain move, actually. That's debatable. Number five, we got Nick Dew. It's a favorite on this list. You know, Nick gonna tell you about yourself every time. Every time he gonna tell you about it. He gonna tell you about yourself. He gonna remind you. And then finally, number six. I don't agree with this one, but apparently myself.
I was hoping you were going to say it because I was definitely about to say, hey, ain't no way you're not on this
because
list, bro.
Shaw swears on Vince McMahon.
You on Vince McMahon of this league, bro.
Shaw swears I know what I be doing, but I really don't know what I be doing. I really don't know what I be doing, y'all. I just be running the league.
Fondu is the biggest troll of RFB. Yeah, I be thinking he all serious. He always got a game plan, man. He always gonna get back. He always gonna get back for sure.
I heavily disagree.
He's gonna get even in a godly way.
I'm the only reason there's any level of peace and unity in this league.
That's what you want them to do, man. That's mad funny, man. Yeah, yeah, that's a good group. That's a good
We
group.
got
I know who should win, but hey,
who y'all think? Who's y'all vote for Control of the
the
Year?
only person I think that was left off the list is D'Lo. I think
D'Lo be trolling.
D'Lo's a troll.
D'Lo probably be trolling, but you only know that because you don't stand on it. You the one that runs stand on it, so you see a side that we don't see for real.
If we gave a Stand On It award for the biggest troll off a Stand On It comments, it would be D'Lo.
Oh man, D'Lo,
Most of the
D'Lo,
most of yeah, most of the bullshit that y'all read was it was from D'Lo, bro. It was from D'Lo. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. He is a troll, man. He is a
It's a very
troll.
live stream.
Nah, Miko sitting down and catching a pick in the same place is wild.
The winner, drum roll. Why y'all saying me, bro? That's crazy. The winner is drum roll, Miko Washington.
Miko.
And came into the league trolling. Dang, Miko. Miko, are you proud of yourself? Congrats, Miko. I think.
Miko.
We got 2 more awards left, and we're done for the night. We are moving.
See, I done started. It started this man up. Oh man.
So the final awards is the best moments, and we have 2 awards in this category. The first award is best play. This goes to number 1. Sorry. These are the nominees. Excuse me. We got 4 nominees. Number 1 is Miko Pick with the smooth pitch to KT versus, I believe it was Roadrunners in I believe week 2. I think I could be wrong, but I believe that was when it happened. We know the play. It's the play that Shah just mentioned when he was sitting down on the field. Miko then proceeded to pick the ball off and hit one of the smoothest pitchbacks to KT. And was so I said Roadrunners. I meant Raiders. My bad.
He did say Roadrunners.
I definitely said Roadrunners. Versus Raiders. Very cool play. Was on Instagram. Did some good numbers on Instagram, and I know it's one of the plays that everybody vividly remembers. One of the better plays from early on in the season. Number 2, we got Trey to Caleb. Caleb Myers. Trey Lewis to Caleb Myers. True Kings. Game-winning touchdown versus Pack. Week 7. That put them in the playoffs. Incredible play. I saw that one. I saw all of these, but incredible play. Because it was an incredible game.
Oh, you seen that one? You didn't see the rest of it. You seen that one?
We were packed, bro. Relax.
Oh, I seen that one. You seen all of them? What do you mean? They regular plays.
Back and forth. A great showing by both teams.
It was real regular.
It was a fantastic game. I mean, edgy as seat type of game. And I was really upset because we were actually rooting for Pack because we needed True King to lose to give us a better shot of making the playoffs. But True King stood on business all the way to the very end and hit one of the better plays of last season. Incredible moments. Big dub for True Kings that sent them into the playoffs. Shout out to them. And shout out to whoever was blocking for that play. For real. It gave Trey like 30 seconds or whatever it was. I think Trey was actually buying a lot of the time himself. I don't remember. It was one of them. I think he bought a lot of that time himself. And whoever was rushing, garbage. Trash. Poo-poo.
Trash.
Terrible. Couldn't even tell you who, but they did not do their job. They did not stand on business.
They did not stand on it at all.
Number 3, Miracle at Mob 2. Number 2 is Menace. Menace be having some miracles, boy. Miracle at Mob 2. This was week 3. Menace versus Raiders, I believe. Dang, Raiders again. Menace versus Raiders with the throw off at the very end of the game. Throw off to P. Will. And P. Will proceeding to very violently introduce himself to the league and securing that W for Menace. A huge win for Mob. Huge moment for Mob. And if anybody remembers, it wasn't until I was editing film that I even saw the full situation for that moment, because Menace had actually did a prayer right before that play happened, or 2 plays before it, because apparently they didn't have time to pray before the game itself.
You said it was a versus Dynasty.
Oh, it was versus Dynasty? Okay, excuse me. My bad, Raiders. It was versus Dynasty. Yeah, it was versus Dynasty. And so at some point during the very final plays of the game, Menace decided to take some little time that they had to do a quick prayer. And it's funny because immediately after that play, I believe they got scored on for an extra point or something. But then in the play after that, he will, sure enough, I don't know who on Dynasty thought that was a good idea. So, I don't know what they was thinking. I don't know what the game plan was.
Just said, pull a flag, man. Pull a flag.
They threw it to the one person you should not throw to over there and throw off. Threw it to P. Will. And P. Will proceeded to show them why he deserves some respect around these parts. Shout out to P. Will. And number 4, we have none other than Joe Shiesty. Joe Shiesty, again, as I was saying earlier with the whole Andrew situation, Andrew being a first-round pick, being traded to Grinders for their last-round pick, round 7, I believe. Joe Shiesty, Joey, a lot of people did not like that trade and felt like Joey was not the caliber to be on a one-on-one trade for Drew. But say what you want to say. In that moment against Phantom, I believe that was week 4, Joe made a play that put the entire league on notice. Touchdown catch, which was very controversial as well. But it was ruled that he did indeed come down with the catch with a foot in bounds. And then on the tippity tip of his toe, came down in bounds, catching touchdown over 2 people. And did so with the shiesty on. And ever since has been dubbed Joe Shiesty in the league. Shout out to Joey. The winner of best play of season 14 goes to none other than True Kings, Trey Lewis to Caleb Myers, game-winning touchdown versus Pack week 7. Shout out to True Kings.
I did not know they were going to win. Shout out to True Kings, man. Y'all ball this season, man.
It was quite a game. Again, the game itself was definitely one of the better games of the season, but the playoff implications, I think, was what helped put it over, stand out. It's a tough one too, because I do also feel like Miracle at Mob could have also been an acceptable pick for that. Very, very crazy moment You know, but nonetheless, congratulations to True Kings. Definitely a big moment and well deserved. It was a heck of a play. And finally, last category of the night, we have the most controversial officiating call. And we have 3 nominees for this award, with the first being Willie and Chase, 2-point goal line play, week 2. This was Dynasty versus Grinders, when Willie caught the ball right on a 2-point extra point attempt. Willie caught the ball right outside of the front of the end zone, and Chase made a very IQ heads-up play to push Willie and keep him away from the end zone, keep him just far enough to not break the plane of the end zone. It was very controversial, so much so that Dynasty, campaigned for weeks on RFB implementing a end zone cam, front of the end zone cam, specifically to prevent from situations like that. It was quite a call, but we do believe our officiating team made the right call. But it was quite a play. It was quite a play, and definitely a heads-up play by Chase, the defender, to be able to keep Willie out of the end zone. Grinders would go on to win that very close game. Number 2, we have Chase versus TJ Jackson, PI. Grinders versus Jack Boys, week 5, with the call being put on a wager between Howard and one of the players on Jack Boys, if anybody remembers.
Yeah, that was wild.
Had to have, as a league, had to have a very serious meeting with Howard regarding that, as it was not part of RFB procedure to do that whatsoever. But an interesting play nonetheless, and one that caused quite the disruption during that game. And then finally, we have LJ and Josh Norman, simultaneous catch in the playoff quarterfinal, True Kings versus Dynasty, when LJ had presumably picked off the ball from Greg, but Josh was just able to get involved with the possession, apparently long enough for the officials to rule a simultaneous catch. But this was a very controversial call because many believed it to be a pick on LJ's part, and that it was only ruled simultaneous possession because T-Will complained on the spot, and the Winged Serpent was able to convince one of the officials to rule in his favor. The winner of this goes to none other than, drum roll, LJ and Josh Norman's simultaneous catch as the most controversial play of season 14. Very controversial indeed. So with that will conclude our awards for part 1 of the awards ceremony. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and for being a part of this. Congratulations to all our winners. In part 2 next week, we are going to be going over the performance awards, which I know is the one that everybody's the most anticipated category of the awards ceremony. So we wanted to give that its own special day and event. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are in agreement with the list. If not, it doesn't matter. We stand on what we say. Congratulations to those who won. If you got any disagreements, at yourself, like T-Will says, or talk your talk and stand on business next season. Yeah.
See y'all next week, man. Do it all over again.
What would y'all rate the awards from 0 to 10?
Gotta be a 10, man.
It's pretty good this year.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You gonna give them their little plaques?
Their little plaques. I don't know how I'd be able to get plaques to everybody. Let me ship all that. That's a lot of shipping. I might.
To the owners, not plaques, but the certificates.
Yeah, I might. I've been thinking of like doing like a website, like something on our website where it's like, it's like a virtual kind of digital award, but that way, like it's always on our website, so you can reference it, years down the line
Yeah.
and show proof, like, yeah, I was the best, yada yada.
Yeah.
I think that was something that'd be dope too. But that's just one of the unfortunate parts of doing a virtual award ceremony. I do like the in-person award ceremony. The only issue is that a lot of people didn't show up, so it kind of wasn't worth it to do all that, unfortunately. So yeah, let's see what the people say.
I'm anxious to see.
Pylon, yeah, we got a big argument for pylon cams, especially after that play between Grinders and Dynasty.
Yeah, that would be kind of tough. Yeah, I was even trying to get like hunting gear.
Drop passes. Tomorrow, no, we are staying on the schedule. Part 2 of the award ceremony will be next Sunday at this exact same time, 8:30 p.m. Y'all pull up for that one. That one's gonna be a lot of fun for sure. That one's definitely the more interesting one. I already know, and it's quite a lot of them. So, and I got some up my sleeve for that one too. So, stay tuned. The categories for the performance awards, Stroud, are as follows. We have the overall awards, of course, which includes the MVP, the Rookie of the Year, the Offensive Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year, the Special Teams Player of the Year, and then we have the positional awards, which includes all the offensive positions: Best Quarterback, Best Receiver, Best Running Back / Offensive Utility, Best Best Center. And then we have the defensive positions: the best corner, best safety, best linebacker, best line rusher. And then we have best flag puller, best blocker, and best athlete.
The best of the best.
You did. So, yeah, those ones were fun. We definitely, I mean, figuring out these awards took multiple meetings with the owners, maybe like 3 or 4 meetings, executive meetings, in order to figure all this out. So shout out to the owners too, even having patience to do all that. And of course doing that because we want to make sure we recognize the right people for these awards. We know how much this stuff matters to the players, so we gotta make sure we, is the list is valid. One thing I will definitely do is include a copy of all the awards and the winners and the nominees on our Discord once we finish part 2, just so you guys can have that to reference. I'm also planning to work with our designer Kyle to do a graphic that shows all the award winners, so you guys can have something to repost and something that's a little bit more extravagant.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That would be some dope.
Yeah, man. So, again, appreciate y'all's time.